everyone. Happy almost mid-summer. July is quickly coming to an end. It has been flying by, and it's been a little while since I filmed my last video where I talked about planning a 90s inspired summer, where I was trying to spend less time scrolling and on devices and instead fill my time with a lot of things that I remember from the 90s. Magazines, books, getting out more, doing little excursions, and I started off the summer really well. But I have to say, I've kind of lost my focus the last couple of weeks. And so this week, I'm trying to get back on track. I just got really busy with work. And then towards the end of the days, I was so tired that I didn't really feel like picking up my knitting, and I started to scroll again. But this week, I am being super intentional about less screen time and more hands-on activities. I've also been making a list of things that I want to do with my family this summer, just little day trips, maybe a weekend away here or there. I've been thinking about all of these things for a while, but I've made no plans. And so the other night, Glenn and I were talking about some of the ideas, and we're going to make them happen. So this is definitely my week to get back on track. And I thought I would share a little update with you because even though I haven't done a lot of knitting, I do have some exciting knitting updates for you. The first one is a finished object that I'm really in love with. It is my No Frills Sweater from Petite Knit. I finished this sweater a couple of weeks ago. I have woven in the ends and blocked it, and I love it. I will try to remember to put in a little clip here of me trying it on. I'm really, really happy with this sweater. I used Chelsea Luxe yarns in the color Fairy Tale. It's holding 2 strands of yarn, the 80-10-10 fingering with a mohair, and I think it turned out beautifully. I love the fit, I love the feel, and I definitely think it's something that I will be wearing quite often as soon as the weather changes. The weather here has been so unpredictable. We had a couple of weeks of heat waves, then there were smoke and air quality warnings because of some forest fires in northwestern Ontario. It's been a strange week. Today, it's actually a little bit on the cooler side, which is nice. But ever since I finished my No Frills sweater, I have had great plans to start a new project, the Olga Sweater, also by Petite Knit. And I did cast it on and get everything ready in a bag, but I have really stalled on this project. I decided to put it in a little mini tote of mine in the black plum color. I've got my yarn in here. I've cast on the stitches for, I think I'm making the medium size, and I'm very excited about this. However, I feel like I'm procrastinating because it is not the typical start to a top-down sweater pattern that I am used to. There are a few things to do, which I've never done before, and I don't think they're complicated at all. But I think I've been dragging my feet because I just need to sit down and concentrate, and I haven't really been in the mood to do that. So that is on the agenda. I think I might make myself an iced latte this afternoon and sit down and try to make some progress on this project because I'm really excited about it. I've been all about stripes lately, and that kind of lipstick red, it's one of my new favorite colors, I think. And I think it's going to be a really beautiful sweater to wear. These are my colors. It's the Peer Gynt by Sandnes Garn in the color, I'm not sure actually, 3021 and 4008. This one here is a collaboration color with Petite Knit, and I'm really excited about this sweater. I feel like that's my biggest motivation with knitting lately, which makes me very happy, is the final wardrobe piece. I think I'm a bit more of a process knitter normally. I just really enjoy picking yarns out, setting them up in a bag, starting a project, seeing what the yarn looks like. But in the last year or two, I think I might be a bit more of a product knitter. I'm really excited to have more items in my wardrobe that are really me. And I went through some of my knitted garments in my closet the other day. I did a bit of a closet cleanup, and I rotated them so I can see them this fall, and I'm really excited about some of the pieces that I think are just perfect in my wardrobe. But in the last week or two, while I have kind of been circling around in my head thinking about all the things I want to do and not really getting to them, which is always a frustrating place to be, I decided to just pick up an older project to kind of get me back into knitting again, and it was the perfect choice. It's in this beautiful bag from Fat Squirrel that I think I got on my first trip to Rhinebeck, if I'm not mistaken, maybe my second. And in here is my Cozy Comfort Throw, which is such a comforting project. It is simple garter stitch with some fun color changes. It is squishy, and I really, really love it. So I picked this up the other night. I just finished this color this morning, actually, and I decided to wind up my next bunch of yarns because I was out of little balls of yarn to use. So I am using all yarns from an advent calendar from a homespun house, and I'm holding them together with an undyed 80-10-10 fingering weight yarn, and I love it. I forgot about it. I was so happy that I pulled it out, because when I'm really tired in the evening and I don't feel like knitting, I can still knit on this. This is such a great project. I don't even have to look at what I'm doing. I just need to make sure I'm counting how many rows before I switch to the next color. So this is my next one. I'm ready to put this in. I'm going to save it for tonight when we are sitting in front of the television. We have started to watch the original Little House on the Prairie series, and we're loving it. There is a new Little House on the Prairie series, and we did watch the first one. I really, really enjoyed it. But Glenn wanted to go back and watch the original. He remembers some of it, but I don't think that he watched it as much as I did, and he's really getting a kick out of it. So that has been some of our evening TV lately, and this will be perfect to knit while I'm watching that. And while I was caking up some of those little mini skeins this morning, I decided to clean up my little sock basket and add something else to it. Plus, I thought I would give you an update of my sock projects, because I have done a little bit of knitting on these in the last few weeks. Needles are flying. But in this denim bunny bag, I have the Saturday socks by Tracy Miller, who is Tracy of the Grocery Girls. I think I've put in one set of a repeat, like of the pattern, since last time. This is the first one. I love it. They are going to be perfect, cozy, squishy socks this fall. And it was really easy to pick these back up again. It took me a second. I always get a little intimidated about finding my spot in a pattern, but this particular pattern is so easy to read the stitches, and it's really enjoyable as well. So I picked this up, I think last week or the week before, and then I've picked it up again this week. I think I have one more pattern repeat before I put in the heel, which is very exciting. So that is sock project number 1. My sock project number 2, I've been picking up a little more regularly. It's in a blueberry bunny bag. And this is a vanilla sock that I am just finished with the heel flap. I'm ready to do the gusset next, and I love it. I think it's a beautiful color, kind of looks good with my nails. This is also a Homespun House yarn. This is from the Meet Me at Midnight 2023 Advent, and it's beautiful. I'm knitting these on a 2.25 millimeter needle. This is the mini that came with it that I'm going to do the toe with. I really like just having a contrast toe lately, so that's the plan. I'm really enjoying this, and I feel like once I finish that heel, turn, and gusset, they will fly off the needles. I am going to try to persevere and get the second one on the needles right away, because while I was caking up yarn today and just looking around my studio, I spotted a skein of yarn that I got, I think last year at the Kawartha Fiber Festival from Full Moon Fibers. I was in love with this colorway. It's called Flower Power. I decided to just cake it up while I had everything out and I was winding up yarns. Even if I don't start these socks for a little while, I'd really like to finish my second Saturday sock, and I'd like to get the first vanilla sock done here. If I get to that stage, I think I'm going to cast these on. I've had a few others set aside to start socks next, but this one just popped up, caught my eye, and I think these pops of neon in here are what totally pulled me in. I'm really excited about this. This is one of my favorite shades of purple and one of my favorite colors. I love the little neon pops and the gold and the green. Oh, it's perfect. And I remember sometime last year, I saw a sock knit up with this on Instagram, and that's why I fell in love with them. So I'm really excited about this yarn and my next pair of socks, which will probably be another pair of vanilla socks. And I thought I would mention, I've already got my needles in this basket for them, because I think these are my new favorites for knitting socks. They are, I think they're the Knit Pro Carbons, and I really, really like them. Again, these are the 2.25 millimeter size, which is what I use with 64 stitches cast on for a vanilla sock, and I love them. So that is my little knitting update. I think I'm going to make an iced coffee, sit myself down on the couch in some peace and quiet before the house gets busy, and try to make some progress on my Olga sweater, because every day I think about it, and when I go to bed at night, I ask myself why I didn't carve out a little bit of time for it. So I'm gonna do that next. I just took a photo doing a little what's in my bag for Instagram, and I thought I would pick up my camera and share because I've set up a new Lakeside tote for myself for the rest of summer. This is in the color Sunflower, which is July's color of the month, and I really love it. I've been in a bit of a slump the last week or two, and I feel like this color just exudes so much joy and happiness. So I needed to keep one for myself. And this is everything that is going into my summer tote. I have one of my medium zip pouches that is a combination of life essentials and also some knitting notions. I have a little notebook in here if I'm knitting and I need to jot something down. I've got scissors. I've got Tylenol. I can't remember, but this is pretty much my essentials pack. This is my wallet. This is my beautiful summer journal from Chelsea Yarns. Hand cream, nail file, bunny bag with my sock project, my Kindle, car keys, lip balm, and a small and a medium Bagoo bag. Those are essentials for me. I have just noticed in the last couple of years how many times I forget to bring shopping bags in from the car when I'm doing groceries, and having these in my bag makes a really big difference. So this is my summer tote. However, if I am just running to the store quickly to grab something, or maybe I'm running out to drop off packages to ship, this is the bag I am going to use. I've been swapping out what colors I'm currently using, and I thought that would be a nice one to move into. But all of this obviously won't go in there, so I was just kind of figuring out what I would put in there, and it's probably that. The rest of everything else will stay in here if I need to bring this with me. Otherwise, this stays home. And this is kind of moving around the house with me. This has become such a fun little journal that is the perfect size to carry around with me, to put in my bag, to take with me on the go. I can just open it up, jot down lists. I'm keeping it super casual, but isn't it so beautiful? Christina made this for me and I'm in love with it. It's super, super soft and beautifully made. I thought, why not just show you what's in here? I have a little notebook in here with one of these paper clips that you can put a pen in. And I'm using this notebook for pretty much anything, but I'm starting out with some lists. So I wanted to put a quote or something nice here. I haven't done that yet, but I started jotting a few things down, just meals that we're currently really enjoying and I don't want to forget about. I really want to keep adding to this throughout the summer. Then I have things that I've been really enjoying reading lately. I want to start a list of some movies that we want to watch. Here, I haven't done my headers yet, but I have a list of things to do this summer. Some of these we've already done, but also a few places we would like to visit, either for day trips or maybe a little weekend away. So I'm just making little lists. I wanted to start off with those, but I feel like just jotting down anything that comes to mind. If I'm watching a video and I'm inspired by a knitting pattern, or if someone mentions a book, it's just going in here. It doesn't have to be perfect or beautiful, but I really love the size of it. What is this notebook? I think it is Stalogy, is that right? Yes, it's a Stalogy. And this is my little Coeco sport pen. Then I have a tiny little folder in the middle, just in case I grab a business card or a receipt or a sticker or something when I'm on the go. I can just put it in here without worrying about it getting creased. And Christina sent me this adorable pocket-size word search book, and I've kept it in here because it is the perfect thing to do if you are sitting in a waiting room or picking someone up and just sitting in the car and waiting. Instead of picking up my phone, I have loved this little book. I've just started to use it. It took me a while to kind of get into this book, but I love that they are all mindfulness based. So really, really nice. There's a little quote. There are tons in here, or a little mantra on each page. I love it. And I really do enjoy word searches. Crossword puzzles, not so much, but I love a word search. And I like to circle the words in pencil. So I added a pencil in here as well. It's a little bit full with a pen and a pencil, but I love it. And just the way it feels in my hand is perfection. So that is what I currently have in my summer tote bag. And if I don't need a big bag and I'm just running out, then I will throw the absolute necessities into this little mini tote, which I love. Good morning. It's the following day and I am just about to head out for a much needed haircut. I'm really looking forward to getting a very good trim because my hair is getting a little bit too long for me this summer. But I thought I would share a little update on my Olga Sweater knitting. I did devote a little bit of time yesterday afternoon with my iced coffee and a little snack, and I am so glad that I did. I spent about an hour before I made dinner just getting into the groove of the pattern. And then I also picked it up again last night because it was not complicated. I just kept going with some stripes, and then I picked it up again this morning with my morning coffee, and I'm really loving it. I am very happy with how the colors look. So here is the back of my Olga sweater, and I think it's so pretty. It really wasn't complicated at all. I don't know why I was procrastinating, but I think it's just one of those patterns where if you just don't get ahead of yourself and only look at the section you are working on in that moment, you will be fine. So this is the cast on edge, and I'm just working back and forth on the short rows, changing the colors, and I think it's super pretty. I think it's going to make kind of a trapezoid shape which is really interesting. And then you, I think, pick up the shoulders. Not really sure. Like I said, I'm not getting ahead of myself. I'm just working on each section as it comes, and I'm really, really happy with it. I think it's gonna be so pretty. So that is my little knitting update, which went much better than I thought. I am gonna head out for my haircut. I do have a couple of other errands I might wanna run afterwards if I'm feeling up to it. It's a beautiful day today. I thought I might go to my local nursery to look for just another plant or two to put in my front garden, because a couple of things just did not do well this year and it's looking very scarce. I don't know if it's a great idea to plant something new for August, but if I can find what I have in mind, I'm gonna do it. Then I also need to pass by a grocery store just to pick up a few things for the weekend. And I have some color copies ready to be picked up at Staples as well. I really like to print off images from Pinterest and from different collage sheets from some of the artists I follow on Patreon, and I don't have a color printer at home. So I have a little to-do list to tackle. I'm gonna take you along with me. And then later this afternoon, I am going to draw a winner for the giveaway that I did in the last video. I've closed it. I actually picked a winner this morning. I will announce it later. And I think I'm also gonna share a new cookbook that I have fallen in love with, and it's a really good one. So let's go and tackle the to-do list. Back from my morning of errands, I got everything checked off the to-do list and then some. I started with my haircut. I got quite a bit taken off and it just feels so much lighter and fresher. I went to 2 different grocery stores to get some different things. I stopped at the bank, I went to Staples, I went to my local nursery, and I got a few flowers to plant in the front, which I'm hoping to do later this afternoon. And I even stopped off at my mom's to drop off some homemade soup that I made last night. I had so much left over and it was really tasty, so I brought her a container of that. And I'm just getting ready to kind of ease into a quiet afternoon again. I think I'm going to sit myself on the couch with my Olga sweater and watch a movie with Camden. We have been wanting to watch Spirited Away for a while, so I think that's what we're going to do. But I wanted to share something with you first. Last week, I was walking through the bookstore and I spotted this book that I had never seen or heard about before. It's called A Montreal Cook. It's by Leslie Chesterman, award-winning author of Make Every Dish Delicious. I was intrigued because when my father first came to Canada from Italy in his 20s, he started off in Montreal. It's where his brothers went, it's where the whole family immigrated, and I still have relatives there and I love Montreal. My mother is also French Canadian from a northern part of Quebec. And when I picked up this book and started flipping through it, it just reminded me of so many functions during my childhood where my mom and her sisters would bring the most delicious foods, and my grandmother as well. I was very, very fortunate to have two different cultures to experience while I grew up, the foods, the language, and this book just kind of brought me back a little bit. I think there are a lot of modern recipes in here and basic things, but there are also a lot of things that I haven't seen anywhere else that really remind me of my mom and her family. I thought I would give you a little flip through to share some of the recipes in here that I have already marked off. I could have put page flags on so many more recipes, but I tried to be easy with that because sometimes it can be overwhelming. And I started off just marking the recipes that I thought I could start with, but I really think that this is going to be a wonderful book. Even just the back looks so good. So let me give you a little flip through of this. I'm super happy to have it in my collection and I wanted to share it with you. I love sharing flip throughs of cookbooks that I collect, but because I like so many of the recipes in this book, I think it would take too long to share all of them with you. So I thought I would share a little peek at the table of contents, then flip through the book and just stop on some of the recipes that I've put little page markers on. So this is a Montreal cook and the table of contents. I like how it's a little bit different. And when I started to flip through this book in the bookstore, I almost immediately knew that I wanted it to come home with me. One of my absolute favorite things to make and eat are muffins, and the first two recipes in here, I marked them right away. I love a good bran muffin, and I love apple oatmeal spice. I love any kind of spice in a muffin or loaf. There are some really beautiful photographs in here. There are jams, breads. It's beautiful. I put a little sticky note on this rhubarb streusel coffee cake. I am a huge fan of rhubarb. And a lot of other things, as you can see. There's baked beans, a lot of great soups. I'd like to try this weekend soup. I love reading the little blurbs. She gives a bit of her family history, where she ate things, who made them, and I love that in a cookbook. Pea soup feels very French Canadian. You can see it's really beautiful, and I think that the recipes are things that I would actually make, which is always a plus. I don't always need that in a cookbook. Sometimes I just love the cookbook for the visual and inspiration, but this one is a bit of everything. This is a great section of everyday dinners. I marked off this baked ziti recipe, which looks delicious, and this shepherd's pie. What do we have here? Winter and après-ski. I have really been intrigued by fondue. I got a couple of cookbooks, not last winter, the one before, and I've been wanting to try fondue at home ever since then. If you have a fondue pot that you would recommend, please let me know. I think it would be so cozy around the holidays. Okay, this reminded me of my grandmother. She was famous for her tourtière. which is a meat pie. She would make huge batches and share them with everyone. Cookies in here look great. I just love the look, the photography, and the actual recipes in here. Lots of dips and things for entertaining. Gougères. And at this point, I started to pull back on how many sticky notes I was putting in because there were so many. She has a fish and seafood section, salmon 2 ways. Oh, I thought these all looked so delicious. And there are quite a few recipes in here. This whole section is on curries. And Montreal is such a multicultural city, as is Toronto, that it's so nice to see so many different influences. The dessert section really got me. This also reminded me a lot of my mom and my aunts. These maple sugar tartlets look delicious. One of my favorite pies when I was a little girl was pecan pie, and this one looks divine. It's a maple version. And there's something in here that my mom used to make. It's this, and I have never seen it in a cookbook before. That's what she calls it. And first line, easily one of the most famous recipes in Quebec, the pudding cake known as unemployment pudding or pudding chômeur. My mom used to make this, and it was delicious. It has like a caramel butterscotch type of sauce on the bottom, and then the cake bakes on the top. So I really loved this for some of the memories that it brought up for me. And I think there's a lot of value in this cookbook because I will make quite a few of these recipes, and there are a lot of recipes in here, a lot of photographs. I think it's a beautiful book. So definitely one of my favorite cookbooks that I have found in a long time. It just doesn't stop. There's even another part back here. Base recipes, so some basic things back here. And she has recommendations if you visit the city, which if you do, so many amazing restaurants to go to. Their breakfasts are to die for. Their pastrami and corned beef sandwiches are just famous. So she's got all kinds of places here that you can actually visit, which I love. And now I'm thinking we need to plan another trip to Montreal because it is a gorgeous city. I just came up to the studio to wrap up my work for the day before I can sit down and work on my Olga sweater. But I wanted to share with you July's Leather of the Month color, which is Sunflower. It is brand new in the shop. I haven't had this color before. It's very similar to the mustard color that I used to have, but it's just a little bit more deep and golden, and I think it is such a joyful color, which is why I kept one of these Lakeside totes for myself. But I also have it in the carry-all tote, the mini tote. I have cylinder pouches and little zip pouches as well. They're all in the shop right now. And I had a lot of requests for more of the sand Lakeside totes. I managed to get a little bit more leather, so there are just a couple of these now in the shop as well. It's such a good color. So if you are waiting for one, they are available now. I wanted to take a moment to thank everyone who left a comment in my last video. I was doing a giveaway for the 10th anniversary of By the Lakeside, and I asked people to share what their summer plans were. I had so much fun reading through them. Other than a few people doing some really big, fun trips, most everyone is trying to have a very relaxed summer with their knitting, crochet, needlepoint, cross stitch, going for walks, doing day trips, visiting places nearby, and I just loved reading through them all. So thank you so much for entering, and thank you so much for all of your support. I did draw a winner this morning using a random comment selector. And the name that I chose was Barbara Angier 9967. Congratulations, Barbara. Please get in touch with me. I will put my email address down below and on the screen. You can email me and just let me know what your address is so that I can send out your prize. I think that kind of wraps up this video. I hope that you guys are having a great start to your summer. We are just about halfway there, so I encourage you to do all of the things that you want to do for the next few weeks. Enjoy your crafts, your quiet time, enjoy the weather if it's possible. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the summer, and I will see you next time.